Thank you, and thank you all for coming to this conference. It's been a very challenging conference, and we need also to talk about afterwards what the results are and how to distribute it. Now, as part, my kind of talk will be how all these are framed under all these events are framed under imperialism, because right now we are experiencing the biggest refugee flow since World War II, as we all know. The number of refugees have received more than 65 million, a high record at the end of 2015. Now, at an average of 24 people per minute are being displaced this year, and that amounts to 34,000 people per day, just to get a record of what is going on. Now, this chaotic situation is created by imperialist powers with colonialism, internal colonialism, and accumulation by dispossession, as David Harvey calls the new imperialism, which is a dehumanizing process leading to the aporia between the borders of human and inhuman. As Lenin said, imperialism is the most advanced level of capitalism. Now, right now, if we see what's going on around the globe, it's like wars are everywhere, a global pillage is going on. And it's not only the Middle East that we are so well acquainted with. It's not only Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, Yemen, or whatever. Things are, right now, colonialism is going on in Africa, and you see countries like Burkina Faso, Cameroon, the Central African Republic, Chad, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Gabon, Ghana, Kenya, Mali, Niger, Senegal, the Seychelles, Somalia, South Sudan, Uganda. All these countries are being colonized by American troops. Africa stretches far wider than the public is being told, and it's only going to get bigger in the following years. Now, if that is enough, right now, yesterday, The Nation wrote an article on how the United States and NATO are preparing for a war with Russia. Specifically, NATO is alleging that because Russian hackers had copied the emails of Hillary Clinton's home computer, this action of someone in Russia taking advantage of her having privatized her U.S. State Department communications to her unsecured home computer, and of such a Russians then snooping into the U.S. State Department, it might constitute a Russian attack against the United States of America, and that could trigger NATO's mutual defense clause and blah, blah, blah. So right now, they are literally trying to create more war, more deaths, more human extinction, and so on. Right now, it seems that they are deploying 4 multinational battalions along the east flank, one in Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, around Russia in order to put pressure on it. As a response, China and Russia have said that they've had enough bullying from U.S. imperialism, and they won't be brought down so easily. Now, this kind of wars, of course, create refugees, right? This is the dehumanizing effect from wars, apart from deaths, of course. Now, I want this to stop here, and let's go to the internal colonialism. So what is internal colonialism? The definition is between uneven development between regions, and how this exploitation of class mainly it happens inside a country. Now we can see at a global level the militarization of police, which is there to enforce just the same kind of colonialism that is happening in other countries. So we see that part of the armory that was used in Iraq was sent to U.S. Police departments. So this kind of imperialism is coming home. It doesn't stay in just other countries that we don't that are far away from us, and we don't really care what this is all about. Last night specifically, 5 police officers were killed during an anti-police brutality rally in Dallas, Texas, shot by snipers. So we see that this is coming more and more as war zones inside each country. Now, as Henry Giroux says, what we are observing is not simply the overt face of the militarized police culture, the lack of community policing, deeply entrenched anti-democratic tendencies, or the toxic consequences of a culture of violence that saturates everyday life. We are now in a new historical era, one that is marked a culture of lawlessness, extreme violence, and disposability, fueled in part by the culture of fear, a war on terror, and a deeply overt racist culture that is unapologetic in its disciplinary and exclusionary practices. Now, if we see what's going on, this kind of culture is being generalized globally through the violence of imperialism. That's the second point. So we have imperialism, we have internal imperialism, and the next thing that I want to put in the agenda is accumulation by dispossession. Now, after the 1970s, global capitalism has experienced a chronic and enduring problem of overaccumulation. So what it's doing is, like, through the neoliberal practices and with privatization, financialization, and management of crisis, it's like it's like a total attack. I mean, it's getting everything under the ownership of a few. Now, this condition, as we all know, is creating homeless people, incarcerated people, jobless people, immiseration. So if we put all these together, we can say that this condition is creating the refugee crisis to be of this global and not precedental extent, and 65 million have been actually in a wasteful kind of condition, something that could be described as the Muslim, according to Primo Levi. Now, this culture has to be dehumanizing. If we go to see the refugees, they have been arrested and imprisoned at several places along the route. They are kept in camps with little food, and they are dehumanized, like they are taking their assets above a point. They are being forced to wear wristbands. Their doors were painted red in order to state that they are different, they're not the same. By excluding them as the other, what we are doing is that we are allowing the immiseration of their existence, that they are put in a condition of bare lives. Now, negation leads to separation. You are not one of us, and thence a diminution of empathy. The point is that the way the migration is dealt with reflects what our world thinks as the acceptable. This state of emergency that is happening under migration is creating the unholy homocycle with zones of non-responsibility, what Agamben describes as not to make live or let die, but rather to make survive. That is, to produce bare life is life reduced to survival through the separation of the human from the inhuman, or the speaking being from the living being. This is creating a state of exception where when this condition is solidified, it will not only include the refugees, it will include most of us. We must see that the other is us and we are the other. This is a class war, even if it takes part in different countries. So I think that we need to see that internationalism that Marxism has always proclaimed is necessary more than ever. And we also need to see that it won't be for our support, for our benefit, if we start putting workers' rights in front of human rights. And I'm saying that because, like, in Germany, the Linke actually took a stand against migration at the same time that Merkel was supposed to be the nice one, wanting migration because it was serving the interests of the job owners. So I think that at this point, when everything is losing its balance, it's losing its the sense of the things that we know, I think at this point we must go to our values, our principles, the leftist, humanitarian internationalism, and let this guide into a unity to fight all together the threats that are above our head.